Hello and welcome back to another episode of Joes+Juice. This is the live stream dedicated to talking about all things classified, Action Force, all of that good stuff. We live in a golden age of action figures, so why not do some spin-offs? You know I love it, and you know I can't do it on my own. So today, as always, I have my two co-hosts for Joes+Juice. It's of course Mini Plastic Multiverse, Tom and Mark Tac. Mark, how you doing, gentlemen?
Very well, Dan. Yeah, very well. Out in the field. I know we've got a lot to talk about today.
Yeah, I told you. I say it every week, but it's a true story. I am the man in the chair. You guys are in the front line. I'm in the safe position with a computer screen. That's where I get my trouble in. But we're live on YouTube as we always are, but this time we're on a Tuesday. As I said, this will live in the replay crew history, so if you are in the replay crew, let us know in the comments. But if you're here live today, we appreciate you. Just looking at the chat real quick, I can already see Damien, the Wolfpack, California Red Devil, Mike D, well, now Mike Hex, Jay's Toy Collection UK, Laser Pants, Pickle Go Rotten, Andy Davis, Phil Jones. So I appreciate people joining us today. And so we've planned to do this for a little bit because we thought there'd be a lull with G.I Joe news. So we thought we'd do a stream dedicated to our most wanted figures. And then literally half an hour before we go live, G.I Joe announced for next week there is a Fan First Tuesday on April the 26th. So it's literally Tuesday coming. The Marvel team have just had one. Now it's G.I Joe's turn. And this will be like their third one this year. Not that we're complaining. Joes+Juice are all for it. So we can obviously have a little bit of chat about this. There is a bit of a leak as well. But I think it was an intentional leak. But we'll get into that in a minute. But first we can talk about Fan First Tuesday. So my predictions, gentlemen, is they're going to follow that same pattern that they've already done this year, where the first Fan First they revealed, was it Zaymont and the twins, basically, and was it Stalker? Not Stalker. Yeah, Stalker.
Yeah.
They released the digital renders of them, and then the second live stream, those went up for pre-order. So during that 40th anniversary live stream, we had lots of digital renders shown on screen. Do you reckon they're going to follow that same pattern and we're going to get a lot of pre-orders, more so than reveals on Tuesday? What do you think, Tom?
Let's hope so, because then we get the bazooka.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Was that a Tiger Force
nice to
bazooka?
See, you don't get the accessories with the renders, so it'll be good to see actual in-hand shots and the accessories that come with it.
The pretty promotional pictures, as I say. Yeah, I do like seeing everything that comes in a box. What about you, Mark? Any guesses?
Well, Dan, I would have thought probably echoing what Tom says. I reckon that I think a lot of what we've seen before probably will go up for pre-order, I would imagine. Probably the leak that you mentioned might be obviously shown. I'm sure we're going to get into that, but in terms of new stuff, I'm not sure, because of course there's Yo-Yo June, I imagine, which they might be saving stuff for. So perhaps it's just going to be what we've seen already going up for pre-order.
Well, it is the 40th anniversary of Action Force G.I Joe all year long. So, as I said, this is already... I think G.I Joe have had more live streams this year than any of the other Marvel teams. If I'm wrong, someone in the chat can let me know. But I do think this is their third one. And again, we're only in the first quarter of the year. But I do like their pattern, as in, like, them revealing digital renders, then revealing the product with some more renders, and then, like, continued. So, hopefully we see more of the same. And just like that leak you were referring to, I can see people in the chat also curious of what this leak was, in case you missed it. So, Dr. Mindbender. Okay, so you know me. When this was first revealed, I was gushing over Mindbender because he reminds me of that Action Man villain, Dr. X. Like, I don't know if it's legit, but I do think Dr. X is inspired from Dr. Mindbender. So we knew we were getting this character. So that's not a leak. We knew we were getting him. But because it was a digital render, we didn't know what form. We just assumed it would be a single-packed figure like all classified. But no, this picture, well, these pictures got leaked and by In-Demand Toys. Now, the guy that runs Hish Tank, I believe, or the Full Force podcast or something like that, he's good friends with Nick from In-Demand Toys. Like, they're good friends. I remember Nick telling me that. So I don't know if the retailers are privy to certain information, and then Nick's just slid him this bit because obviously this is what he does. But anyway, it's Dr. Mindbender in some sort of deluxe box glory, similar to Zartan last year. There's the inside of the box with some wacky accessories, and I'll try and break down what the accessories are because I have a good idea of what they are. But yeah, this doesn't look fake. This looks legit. It's from a legitimate source as well. I trust in Demand Toys. So I am assuming, like Mark said, this gets revealed officially on Tuesday. A lot of people were saying this could be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. Is it too early for a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive to be revealed? I don't know. It could be just a deluxe set anyway. Like, I don't know, but let's ask these guys. So, Tom, what are you thinking? Dr. Mindbender?
It's great, I think. I keep looking at it though, and I'm like, what are those red siren things?
So I think they're containers for the brain and the hands, because so Dr. Mindbender, he creates Serpentor.
He creates Serpentor.
Yeah. So like, yeah. I literally wrote a list of the people he steals. So him and Deathstroke. This is in the comics, and I think the cartoon do an adaptation of this as well.
Yeah, it's a 3-part episode.
Yeah, so it's called Arise, Serpentor, Arise. Basically, Dr. Mindbender and Deathstroke are like raiding the tombs of these ancient people to try and get scraps of DNA so they can create this ultimate leader of the Cobra, which is obviously Serpentor. And it says here they try to get Napoleon. This is from the comics, by the way, so I don't know if the cartoon used these same people, but Napoleon, Julius Caesar, Hannibal, and Attila the Hun. And in the cartoon, they wanted Sergeant Slaughter's DNA as well, but I don't think that was in the comics. But anyway, they try and get all this DNA and they create Serpentor. So I'm assuming, I could be wrong, but I'm assuming that's like that hand of Attila or the Hun, or the brain of Napoleon, or the skull of Julius Caesar. I don't know, something like that. But there's that weird sort of pipe gun, and there's like these little, I don't know what they are, little bullets or something. What are you thinking of this, Mark? First impressions?
Yeah, I think it looks very good, Dan. Like Tom says, I think it looks really good. I would agree with you. Yeah, I would say that's like the sort of Serpentor's DNA all on display there. For and we're probably, if that's there, perhaps maybe Tuesday we'll even see Serpentor. Who knows? Maybe if it's a possibility. I suppose he must be on the way pretty soon if they've got like those sort of Easter eggs in the background with Dr. Mindbender.
Wow, we are talking about our most wanted figures today, and like all of us could have easily picked Serpentor, because he reminds me of like Marvel Serpent Society. Like I swear I already have him on the shelf somewhere. I think like King Cobra. He basically looks like King Cobra with a big snake head on top. So how are you thinking this is going to be released then, lads? Tom, do you reckon this is going to be the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive? Because it's very similar in size and packaging to that Zartan we got.
Are they even going to be at San Diego though?
I don't know.
That's my only query, because there's been no announcement on that. So I guess it's either San Diego or PulseCon, unless this is where it's too fancy to be like plastic-free packaging, really, isn't it? So I would have thought
that's what I think as well. Like whether it's San Diego Comic-Con or some other convention exclusive, it's an exclusive of some type, because so far we've got a couple of deluxe releases. I'm thinking of Timber and Snake Eyes, the two vehicles. There have been deluxe, bigger scale figures or more higher price point figures, but none of them got fancy packaging like this. So for them to go all out and do the inlay of the box like that, it's got to be some type of extra exclusive. What are you saying, Mark?
Yeah, I think it's some kind of con exclusive. I would have put my money on maybe a Pulse Con. I actually feel like Dr. Mindbender there looks a little bit different as it would do, I suppose, but to the digital render that we saw in the last Joe's live stream, the last G.I Joe live stream. I know we didn't see the accessories for that or anything, but I feel like it looks a bit different. So I'm sure a regular release one is coming as well, but I would have put my money on it being like some kind of con exclusive. Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I should have pulled up a side by side to compare it to the digital render, but for me that's just like what we've seen anyway. Is that soft goods cape? Like I'm just assuming it is. Is it?
Yeah,
they said there was going to be a soft goods cape on the
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, so that would be pretty good then. He's got like metal chaps as well, some sort of chastity device going on there. So he's not no woman of the house. But let me look at the chat real quick. California Red Devil singing Cobra la 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 la. Mike Heck says maybe Walmart exclusive or Convention Con, as they do. Greg is saying HasCon or San Diego Comic Con possibly. Looks
When is
great.
HasCon?
They haven't announced anything. So basically, last year they because San Diego Comic Con got like everyone pulled out of it, they did their own thing. So we don't know if PulseCon is going to be an annually thing or just when they want to type thing. Because last year, last April, they had a fan fest. Hasbro had a fan fest. This April, no fan fest. And usually we get told sort of like a month in advance. So yeah, it seems like they're saving themselves for something. So maybe San Diego Comic-Con is happening. I'll ask the question to the Marvel team when I speak to them, because if Hasbro's going in some degree, then you can expect more reveals. But what do you think the price point of this is going to be? Like, how much was Zartan? Can any of you remember how much Zartan was? It wasn't crazy.
It was about £35.
Yeah.
It was similar in
35,
dollars.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Like, and I know prices are going up, and I know prices are a topic of conversation at the minute. Like, of course, we would all like our toys to be cheaper, but that Zartan, I think, was like reasonably priced, considering sometimes the price they whack on exclusives. So, how much would you expect him, Dr. Mindbender, to be?
He's got less. I think he's got less stuff than Zartan.
It's true.
There isn't much more there than you get with a standard Joe. So you kind of it's dispersed in the packaging, really.
That's
so
what I mean, they hide it well within the cardboard to make it look like more. Because it does display really nice, to be fair, like that. Someone said it reminded them of the Star Wars, is it the blue guy with all his little trophies? Yeah, so they had, Star Wars team had a set which was similar to this, with him in the middle and then like the trophies around. So it looked like more than it actually was. But again, take away the price point, take away that it's an exclusive. Dr. Mindbender was a villain I wanted anyway. Of course, he is Cobra's chief interrogator and like the right-hand man, the science officer, if you will, to Cobra Commander. But I do think he sides with Serpentor when there's like that little civil war when Serpentor and Cobra Commander are going at each other. Anyway, he's a character, he's a villain that's worthy of being in the collection so early. I know he's a little bit wacky looking, but it was the 80s. Do you know, like this is what happened.
Which one would you want, Dan? Would you want the deluxe release or a regular release down the road?
I'm happy with like you know me. I always like options, and like I don't mind paying a little bit extra to get some fun accessories. I'm just still a little. I'd like to know how these work, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, do the heads, and I'm assuming the brain and the hand go into those little blue cones, red cones. Sorry, but what's the big pipe thing? Is that from an episode in the cartoon? Is that from a comic panel? Like, I don't even know what it is. Does it connect to the red?
Well, I was assuming the pipe connect the black thing at the base of the picture between the big red thing and the pipe. That connects to the pipe, and then that goes in on the top of.
So it's like extracting the DNA or something, maybe. Interesting.
But they may not connect together at all. I don't know.
I am curious to hear the team confirm who the hand is, who the brain is, and who the skull is, because I know it's such a silly thing, but people want to know these things. And as I said, in the comics, it was Julius Caesar, Hannibal, Attila the Hun, and Napoleon. So take your pick which one was which. But there you go, there it is. So, and it still comes with 2 guns. I would have liked an interchangeable head with like a different expression, especially for a crazy character like Mindbender, because he lost his mind. That's why he's gone a bit crazy. But I do. Again, the purples and the blacks and his little mustache. It's just Dr. X all day long. Oh, Teddy's caught in my cable. 1 sec. Teddy, I'm live on YouTube.
Something I think, Dan. You know, looking at this deluxe release, that you know how packaging is changing. So we obviously saw it on Marvel Legends, how they're getting rid of the plastic. So it's becoming like, you know, the pictures. One thing that works here that I think, like it's almost like that you've got a diorama in the packaging there. When you open it up, you know, it's kind of a lab. It's got all the things. Maybe that's kind of a way that they could, you know, incorporate in general packaging to make them, you know, collector friendly, like dioramas, so that, you know, it's adds a different element to what you display on the shelf or whatever.
Yeah, I like that idea. I do think the Hasbro team were the first they revealed their first plastic-free packaging yesterday with Marvel Legends, and it was a little bit meh, in my opinion. I do think they could have done something better. But again, this is a new thing for them, and it's something that's not being forced upon them, but it's the initiative of Hasbro, the company. So I doubt. So they're trying to like work it out themselves as they go, I think. But Yeah, stuff like this though just makes me think fancy packaging, more money. So if you could, but it does seem like they could pack all that in a standard classified box, though. But anyway.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. What the different elements are from the standard to the deluxe.
Yeah, because that's right.
It can't be that much different.
But
maybe the hand, the brain, and the head.
Probably less, like with Zartan. Zartan, the single release, still came with a decent amount. He still had the backpack, the sort of face, didn't it, that went in the backpack. So to be fair, like the classified series do pretty well when it comes to accessories with their figures. So yeah, that picture. If you'd shown me that picture, I would have thought classified. But it's not until you start skipping along, you're like, oh, okay, it's some sort of deluxe. But the packaging looks good. And just before we move on, back of the box, sometimes they reveal like little teasers of who else we can come. So let's have a little bit of a look who we got going on there. So I'm assuming this is Mindbender on his little adventure to steal all the DNA. So there's him and Destro. As I said, they go raiding all the tombs of these ancient villains. But it's Mindbender. I'm assuming that's Baroness just back there as well. We've got some sort of... Is that... some sort of... I don't know. I think that's a
sea creature or something.
Like that's he steals the DNA from somewhere in Atlantis or something like that. So I don't know. Again, the cartoon continuity of this story is different to the comics, but the same principle. It's Dr. Mindbender and Destro trying to steal DNA. There's him losing his mind probably. So yeah, not really any teasers. Damn, I thought we'd catch a tease, but no. But there's all the heads and jars in bottles, so that's definitely what those red things are for sure. Anyway.
You have to assume that Serpentor's close behind this.
I'd hope so. Serpentor's like, I for the longest time thought Serpentor was Cobra Commander, because I was like, surely this guy is the leader, like because he's the big snake guy. But it's not. There's a whole civil war, and you figure that out when you're a little bit older. But as a kid, Serpentor would have been my top bad guy, my top heel, as they say. He would have been the top. All right.
I wonder if we might get... Yeah, go on.
Go on, Tom.
Serpentor even turns Cobra Commander into a snake at one point in the movie.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. I've not seen any of the G.I Joe movies at all, and doesn't mean I'm not a G.I Joe go. Oops, I've pressed.
This is the animated movie, not the.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I have seen that, but a long time ago. Maybe I should rewatch it. I'd started rewatching the cartoons again because they were on Hasbro, didn't they? Hasbro put them up a while ago, all for free. I used to have it on in the background while I was like doing work or something, but I haven't rewatched the movie in a long time. But I'm avoiding the live action stuff. I haven't even seen Snake Eyes, as I keep saying, but they're the only classified figures I haven't brought. Is the Snake Eyes movie figures? Have you both seen the Snake Eyes movie?
I haven't seen it. Have you seen it, Tom? Yeah.
Well, if you were going to make a Snake Eyes movie, would you make it about a character who talks a lot and never wears a black helmet?
Obviously not. I'm assuming that's what happens anyway, right?
That's not what they thought, though.
Yeah. That's when you get people that don't really know the source material meddling in this nonsense. Yeah. But anyway, just to finish there. So we think Dr. Mindbender is going to be revealed on Tuesday during this Fan First Tuesday, obviously. Or maybe it won't be. Maybe they're going to hold that. I don't know, but I'm assuming it would be. Maybe some more pre-orders. Any more predictions before we move on to our most wanted from Fan First? Again, we're about to talk about our most wanted, so that's getting into what we would like to see. Mm-hmm. But any final predictions on for Tuesday? And again, it's just for anyone on the replay crew and people watching live, we probably will try and sneak another Joes+Juice in relatively quickly if there's some decent news to talk about as well. So you'll see us three once again on the YouTubes, that's for sure. But yeah, any final predictions, Tom?
I would have thought that it's going to be like the smaller scale reveals that we got in the first Fan First of the year, not the bigger one that we got, because the last one we had was absolutely epic.
Yeah,
went on for almost 2 hours, didn't it?
Yeah, that was, yeah. So I don't think it would be, because that was the 40th anniversary stream. They've made a big deal out of that. They did it live. Like usually these things are pre-recorded, but it seems like the Hasbro teams are going back into the offices now, because the Marvel team ones seem live, and they're never usually live. They're pre-recorded. So I do think a smaller one as well. Hopefully not 12 minutes like the recent Power Rangers one. That was pointless. It was pointless. You just put the pre-orders up. You didn't need to do that. Any final predictions, Mark?
Well, I have a feeling we might see Dreadnoks, actually. Maybe a Dreadnok or something, because Lenny is a big
fan of Dreadnoks. He does keep mentioning them. We've seen Zatanna in the last one, so it's possible we might see Road Pig or a Dreadnought. But the other thing, Dan, maybe non-classified stuff like the O-ring line. We could see some stuff on that line.
Analog Toys, thank you very much. Let Friday read that out. Save yourself the pain. Don't watch Snake Eyes. Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Tom already gave me that impression anyway. I'm sure I could download it or watch it on some sort of streaming service right now, but I just haven't. So obviously I'm not that eager to. But no, I don't need it. And if I don't watch the film, I don't need the figures either. I'll stay within my classified realm for now. That's for sure. But yeah, Mark, sorry, as you were saying, Zatanna was revealed. Yes. So again, so the last reveals were, this is a quick list: Zatanna, Dusty, the Crimson Guardsman, the Python Cobra Commander, the Python Patrol Cobra Commander, the bazooka with the blue though, because it was a little bit of a variant. Was he he was Tiger Force bazooka, wasn't he?
Tiger Force, yeah.
Yeah, his white shirt.
Yeah, so Tiger Force bazooka, Tiger verse Recondo. Is it Recondo? Yeah, Recondo.
Yeah.
Is it Kama? I always want to say Kama.
Kamakuma.
Kamakuma, there you go, thank you. And then Dr. Mindbender, obviously. So we've seen Mindbender. Hopefully we find out what that's about. But then there's a whole list of figures there that could go up for pre-order. We shall see. Because talking about Joe's, just quick selfish plug for myself, I did get hold of the Tiger Force. So I've got Tiger Force Outback, Tiger Force, the Python Patrol Cobra Viper, and then the Python Patrol Bat as well. So they're on the channel right now. In the US, I believe these are all Target exclusive. So again, I send you luck, but they're not exclusive for us. So we just pre-ordered ours from Pulse, and they've come in and out of stock. I think Outback is very popular, so he's quite hard to get. But I do think that both the Viper and the Bat from Python Patrol are still available right now on Pulse if you wanted to get them. And there's reviews if you're curious of what they look like compared to the originals and the other figures. Go and check them out on the channel right now. And we'll have some more Tiger Force characters to join Outback soon. As I said, we've got Bazooka and Recondo. One final prediction I would like, lads, in this: a classified vehicle. I don't care how big it is, whether it's a trouble bubble or some sort of his tank would be pretty epic, to be fair. But I don't know. Like, I want something else apart from a bike. Do you know? Give me something else. Give me some sort
of... trouble bubble seems like an obvious one.
Yeah, I'd take that all day long. I've started building my display now, as you know, upstairs. So like, I'm starting thinking, okay, I can put a vehicle here. I can do this there. So I want more now. I'm like, give me more. But talking about give me more, let's get into our most wanted. So as I said, we didn't expect any news to come out this month, and obviously that fan first got surprised on us like everyone else about half an hour ago from going live anyway. So we have basically put together a list of our most wanted G.I Joes to be put into classified series, and so just to make this a little bit easier, we broke it down into 3 categories. We've all picked our favourite, or it doesn't have to be our favourite, but just a character that we would like to see put in figure form. So we've picked a Joe, we've picked a Cobra, and then we've also picked a trooper, an army builder of some sort. So there are 3 categories. Each of us have picked a character from each one of those categories throughout the lore of G.I. Joes, and we're going to talk about it. And Tom has put together some epic images to help give you an idea of what these things may look like, and it also gives you a little reminder if you don't know.
They don't look like that.
Well, you know what I mean. Gives people a reminder of what these characters looked like in their original form, if in case people don't know them off the top of their head. Okay, so we'll do Joe's first. Tom, do you mind going first?
No, that's cool.
Okay, let's do it then. Okay, so this is Tom's pick for Joe's in the classified series. Floor is yours, Tom.
So I'm going for Hector Delgado himself, Shipwreck, with his trusty pal Polly. How could you not want this guy? He fights with an anchor on a piece of rope and an old pistol. But what else? If you were going to go into modern warfare, what else would you need for those 2 things?
100%. I have, since opening and again, we're getting to it on my pick, but since opening that timber, I'm like, okay, we need all of the G.I Joe animals, because there's like hawks and snakes and all this stuff. So give me a parrot. I'm game. I know we're getting the crocodile. We're getting multiple crocodiles soon. So we need some animals, Joes, to fight our animal cobras. So yeah, give me Polly. I love the idea of the anchor on some sort of chain element as well. Like, I know that probably wouldn't happen in classified series, but maybe they could put on some rope or something.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, but like some blue as well. His stand out. I'm sure they always like when they first released classifieds, they modernized them, didn't they? And they gave them a little bit more armor and stuff like that. Where they've recently stripped that back, and like even one of the recent releases, like Stalker, he's like basically just army gear, no fancy metallic space age weaponry or anything like that. So I'd be pretty confident in them doing Shipwreck quite similar to just blue shirt, blue pants. Let's go. Like, he's with
I think he needs to be completely classic.
Yeah.
Up the camp level in the display, so that he's
Yeah, no, as I said,
he brings that splash of colour to the shelf.
That's what I'm saying.
I think at the moment it's quite a dark display. There's a few odd spots of colour there, but I kind of think of G.I Joe as quite a mishmash of colours across the shelf.
No, I agree.
We don't quite have that yet.
I agree, and that's why I'm saying I hope they keep it very close to the original look. And I know they like to classify it up, but they don't need to too much. Just give us this version in classified form. What do you think of this pick, Mark?
Well, I think it's really good. Funnily enough, Dan and Tom, a little story behind Shipwreck for me. In my childhood, back when in Asda, they were selling Action Force in the 80s. One of the first Action Force figures that my sister bought, so me and my sister bought one each. I bought, which is going to be my pick, I'll mention in a minute. My sister got Shipwreck, so it kind of holds a special place to my heart for that reason, because we each got one. I think probably my sister always loved animals when she was little. So
I was about to say, it must have been the parrot. The parrot lured her in.
Sailors.
Yeah.
But not that I'm aware of, anyway. But
I was going to make a semen joke, but I won't.
So,
or I just did.
Yeah. But no, well, that's probably I'd say that's my reason for liking Shipwreck. But no, Shipwreck's a great character. I think I'm actually looking forward to Shipwreck being in classifieds. So bring it on.
Just looking at the chat as well, and again, you can play along watching live with the hit or misses. The emojis are there for you to use. So yeah, throw us a hit, throw us a miss. And we've got Phil Jones says major hit. We've got Rich M with a lot of hits. Damien, a hit for Shipwreck. Jay's Toys Collection UK. Shipwreck is my most wanted Joe as well. He also wants him in Super 7 form. A few other people are saying other characters, and again, we'll talk about your picks when we've gone through, because maybe one of us have already picked one of your picks, you see. But yeah, save your most wanted list till the end, and we'll come back to the chat and ask you guys. Lizzie Hartz, though, isn't a fan. She says miss. She isn't a fan of parrots, clearly. Phil Jones also says, hello, Sailor. Hello, Phil. How you doing? Okay, let's keep going. Let's move on. So let's move over to Tom's pick. So give me a second, Tom, and let me find yours.
You're doing the old mix up the name thing, Dan.
Oh, my bad. Jim, this is your pick.
Oh, great stuff! Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
Jim and Juice.
Jim and Juice. Do we know anyone called Jim? It would work out well, wouldn't it? Okay, over to you, Mark. Definitely Mark.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Dan. So mine is airtight. So as I was talking about Shipwreck earlier, when I was little, this was the first Action Force figure I got. In the 80s. So I just really liked the design when I was a kid. So what airtight is, in essence, he's like a sort of environmental biohazard kind of specialist. So when there's been like chemical or biological kind of incidents, the Joes send him in to deal with it. There's all sorts of little backstories about him being a practical joker and liking, biological and chemistry and stuff in his childhood, which led him to be like a specialist in adult and join the army. But yeah, he's in essence like a sort of, specialist that goes in to deal with hazardous situations. So it's like a hazmat suit type thing that he wears. I don't think we've seen him, as far as I'm aware, don't see him too much in the cartoon, but really like the figure. So this will be one that I'll be looking forward to in classified form.
Like we were saying with Shipwreck a minute ago, a little bit of colour like with the yellows and the green.
True.
We have got Barbecue, who's he's red, and like excuse me, he reminds me of like a yellow version of Barbecue, as they've both got a lot of gear on, both got the helmets, of course. So yeah, I like Airtight's design. As you said, it's like a biohazard sort of guy with a big yellow suit, etc. What do you think, Tom?
Well, when you gave me all your different what you were going to pick, I thought I'd go and read the file card for each one, and I thought one of Airtight's file cards is a classic. It says, Airtight was a misfit kid who was known for his collection of plastic dinosaurs and being able to hold his breath the longest. He grew up into the type of adult who would wade into a cloud of toxic gas strong enough to dissolve lung tissue with one whiff. I thought anyone with that kind of description, you've got to have a figure of them.
Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Again, 80s people. That's the excuse for all this nonsense. I think if you go and watch on Netflix, The Toys That Made Us, like they got a bit crazy with all the characters, and like basically people who worked there just started to make up stuff. And anyway, it was the 80s. These type of characters are fun, but it would make a fun figure for sure. I like, as I said, a big yellow suit. Looking at the chat, California Red Devil with the hits, Mike Hex with the pals. Damien also says that's a fab one, Mark. Both cool fix, says Greg. Phil Jones with the hits. Phil Jones is also dropping some dinosaurs in the chat. He's obviously grew up in a similar state as Airtight here. But yeah, so what are the accessories he comes with? Like just a big backpack and
and kind of like a hose to.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. Is that a sword or a hose? Yeah, I was assuming.
Control toxic gases
to suck it all up. Like a
suck it all. That's right, like a Hoover.
Big Hoover. Who doesn't want a Joe? Yellow jumpsuit and a big Hoover on the shelf. But no.
You reckon he's cleaning it up? Because the impression I got that was he was dealing out chemical warfare.
It sounded like that. It did sound like that. But no, he cleans it up. He's a Joe. He's a good guy. So he's doing a good deed. Saving the environment. Saving those trees and our lungs. Okay, let me bounce back. So far, 2 great picks. And I found the Joes the hardest to pick from. Because there's just so many, and there's so many I want as well. But where's okay? So before I show you mine, I had one in mind, right? I had like a notepad of my picks, and then I started opening my Joes to get them on the shelf. And as I said, I've been making a new display, and I finally, a little bit delayed, people, but I finally opened this set. All right, this is. Obviously, Snake Eyes, the Commando Snake Eyes, and Timber. This Timber is epic. He comes with 2 heads, so you don't have to have an articulated jaw because he has the 2 heads. He's got so much articulation. You can get him in some crazy poses. Tail, there's like a waist, sort of like the knees and the ankles. It's so good. Anyway, really impressed with this figure in Joe form. Obviously, this is my favourite version of Snake Eyes as well. So I was like, what other... like G.I Joe comes with an epic companion, shall we say, that could be turned into G.I Joe form. And obviously Teddy's lingering in the house, but he's not quite this one. So I have gone for Law and Order. Obviously the MP, the military police officer, and his canine companion. These guys guard the gates of the Joe's headquarters. I know some people say that the military police ain't all that, but this guy, he's got his dog, and like if they can make a German Shepherd as good as they have with this Timber, I am all in. And also a little bit of colour as well. We've been talking about the blue on the Shipwreck and the yellow and Airtight. This guy, he's got the red t-shirt. He's got the sort of the bluish green sort of jacket. He's going to have his military hat, a couple of weapons. But it's all about the canine companion. It's Law and Order. I believe the dog's called Order. Yeah, there you go. Law and Order. Basically because of this. I had one in mind, and I'll mention that in my honourable mentions, but I changed my mind after opening this because, as I said, I want Polly, but I also want this German Shepherd. And there are other G.I. Joes that come with dogs as well. I think there's like Mutt, isn't there? There's like something a mutt, but that's like
Yeah.
a
Junkyard or something.
Yeah, he's like a pit bull, isn't he? Though, like I think a German Shepherd. And also my love for Action Man. There was an Action Man as well in the 90s called Raid, like a dog German Shepherd called Raid, which I loved as a kid. So like, and that was a police officer and a German Shepherd dog. So again, this set. Again, the same reason I love Mindbender, because of my Action Man sort of relations. So yeah, my pick is Law and Order. So Tom, when I sent you this, did you know what it was? Did you have to Google it?
Yeah, I know him from the cartoon. Yeah.
Oh, good.
He's a great character, and he'd make an amazing figure. And like you say, the dog is gonna add to the shelf as well. You're gonna have just animals coming out everywhere.
Yeah, they're gonna be front row. I'm gonna dangle the parrot on some string. There's Joes that come with like hawks and stuff as well, ain't there? Like, we're gonna get to it all, that's for sure. But I love the idea of him, because just think, Timber's not on a lead, is he? Timber's like wild. He's like, but with Law and Order, you'd get a lead, wouldn't you? So I think that would pose up really nice on the shelf with the lead. Obviously, you can have some nice accessories of weapons and whatever. But and again, that little bit of reds. Again, usually we get a lot of greens and browns with the Joes, but a little bit of colour is going to stand out. So yeah, I would really like to see this in figure form. Mark, do you agree?
Completely agree, Dan. Yeah, I think it's a great choice. I think they'd make a great 2-pack. I know before the stream you mentioned a safari, and Tom mentioned having loads of animals on the shelf. Well, this would be bringing the safari to the collecting shelf, wouldn't it? I mean, this would be a great choice. More animals in the line, all for it. And Teddy approves. Well,
Teddy, do you want I don't think a Shih Tzu is a very dangerous dog. The history of Shih Tzus, for people that needed to know, no one needs to know, but they were bred to be like Emperor's guard dogs. So like they would alert emperors in China if there was intruders on the premises. So there'd just be like tons of Shih Tzus walking around some sort of palace, and they'd just bark at intruders. That's why he does my head in and barks out my window all day long. But a German Shepherd would make a better toy than a Shih Tzu. Sorry, Ted. But yes, there you go. Let me jump to the chat real quick. Okay, Jay's Toys Collection says, another hit. Joes are great. And again, these are just free. Like, you guys can pick us some as we get to the end as well. Mike Hex says, not Junkyard and Mutt, question mark. Yeah, I think Super 7 are actually doing a reaction of Mutt, I think. You'd know, Tom.
Yes,
are they?
That's right, Dan. Yeah, you're right, yeah. Like a sort of parody one. Yeah.
The public notice one.
Yeah, public notice one.
They're definitely doing I swear I've seen a dog in some sort of reaction card.
Was it Law and Order, or was it Junkyard?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I'm on about.
Yeah.
I'm not on about these two. I'm on about they're doing the other dog, the Mutt.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's what Mike said. Damien says hit for Law and Order. Greg says Law and Order were also introduced in the first animated movie. John with the triple hit. Mike Hex with the hits. Lizzie Hartz doesn't know that. Doesn't know this one. Rich M with the dog emojis. I'm assuming that's a hit from Rich. But I know our good friend Brandon is after one of these, because he just didn't buy the 2-pack. He doesn't want that other version of Snake Eyes, but he wants Timber. So I'm just going to rub it in when he watches on the replay and say, Brandon, get yourself Timber, honestly. And then get yourself Law and Order when it eventually gets released. But okay, there you go. There are Joes. There are picks for Joes. So it only makes sense, gentlemen, if we just go straight to Cobras next, right?
Sure thing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go to Cobras. Let me make sure I get the right one up. Okay. And Tom, we'll go back to you. And I'll throw it back. Take it away, my friend.
So my pick for... No, that's not my pick.
Ah, damn. Whose pick? Is that yours, Mark?
That's my pick.
Okay,
yeah.
You go. My bad.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. So this character's called Raptor. What do I know about him? He's kind of like a bird enthusiast. So, like how you got Crocmaster with the crocodile, Raptor is kind of like, I think falcons and hawks and all this kind of business he likes to set on the Joes. Apparently, he was like a tax consultant who then joined Cobra.
Of course he was.
Got into as you do, got into falconry and all this kind of thing. And that's kind of his bag. And he's often shown with, Tom's going to show one who I have seen him, working with or working together with. So Crocmaster's one that he's often worked with. And there's another character who I think Tom is going to show,
or perhaps yourself, Dan, as your pick that he's seen working with as well. But he's kind of, he works alongside those kind of characters quite a lot.
I do like the idea of a classified character with like big, like extendable wings. Like obviously they're like some sort of crappy wooden wings that would never actually fly at all. They just fall to his death. But I like the concept anyway. I like his attempt. And in figure form, that would look pretty cool, especially if they retracted and you could stand him on the shelf like this. So did the original figure come with wings that extended?
I've never had him, so I'm not totally sure. I'm guessing so from looking at the photo.
That's not the original figure. I couldn't find a decent image of the original figure.
Okay.
That's like the V2, I think. But...
So there is a figure out there though, that comes with extendable wings for him. So Classified would have to do that, surely, with what they can do these days. Again, and probably another deluxe. You could probably pack those wings into a box. I like wacky villains. I can't help it. So a villain with some crappy wings on his back, I'm in. What about you, Tom? You like this pick?
I love this guy. The moment I learned he was a yuppie tax consultant, become obsessed with raptors. I'm obsessed with birds in general. And then apparently it says on the file card that he's caught by Destro poaching, and Destro asked him to join Cobra. How's he do?
Simple as that. It's very easy to join Cobra. Just have to bump into Destro. He was probably doing Destro's taxes at the time. And when you like birds, right? We need a bird guy. Get on the team. So I'm just looking at Teddy because I always say he doesn't touch my figures, but look at him. He's sniffing, and I'm getting a little bit worried. Ted, get away. Sorry, this is what happens when you go live on YouTube and your missus isn't in to look after your puppy. Go away. Okay. I'll go to see if I can actually find Tom's pick now. That's my bad. But still, a great pick, Mark. Looking at the chat.
Thank you, Tim.
People are throwing in some Falcons. People are also throwing in a few of their suggestions. And again, we will come to the chat to speak about your suggestions once we've gone through ours. But we're on Cobras at the minute. And there we go. So I'm hoping I've picked the right one now. Tom, is this your pick?
That is my pick.
Hooray! Sorry, I got them mixed up.
I've seen some amazing customs of this guy in 6-inch form, so I thought I really want to get my hands on like a proper classified version. So it's Big Boa, who was he's a Cobra trainer, Taskmaster, and he was originally created to be the kind of arch enemy of Sylvester Stallone's character, who was going to be called Rocky in G.I Joe. But then, because of various reasons and conflicts with other toy lines, it never happened.
Because of that Rambo toy line, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, Coleco created the Rambo toy line, and then he could no longer be part of G.I Joe. But Big Boa was still brought into the line. He just didn't have an arch enemy anymore.
So he's a big boxer Cobra guy.
Big boxer guy with big boxing gloves.
I like it.
Goes around everywhere with boxing gloves on, as he do.
Look, what was his day job? I'm just curious now. I need to know all of these day jobs.
But he started out. He's from a long line of prize fighters, and what happened was he was on the verge of winning a championship in boxing, but then he got arrested for arranging a lot of illegal bare knuckle boxing matches, and his downfall came from there, and he ended up in Cobra and became the Cobra trainer from there.
No, I like it. As stupid as a backstory it is, it sort of makes sense. If you're a prize fighter and you're just doing some illegal stuff, why not join the illegal Cobra team? I love the idea in the box there. You've actually got some like glove accessories that you could put on the figure. Is that like a punching bag as well?
You get a punching bag.
Yeah. What's that bit above the punching bag?
I think it's some. I'm not sure what it is actually.
Was it an accessory that come with the?
I didn't have the original figure, so I'm not sure, but it was with the original figure.
Oh, okay, cool. Again, it's just a big boxer brute guy. He's got like a helmet as well, isn't he? He's like a big metal helmet rather than showing his face.
And apparently, according to his file card, he's one ugly mother. So it'd be nice if you could lift his helmet off on the classified and have this like mutilated face.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that idea. So let's look at the chat real quick. So we've got Tom's pick, Big Boa. Basically, Big beefy boxer guy from Cobra. Tech Hex says, always liked this guy. Mike says, pow, where's the fridge? Damien says, Tom, again, my goodness, you have real taste. Hit for Boa. He said, I got him from an old 99p shop for not much more than $2.99 in 1989. Bloody hell. 99p shop, but it was $2.99. I would have complained. My nan once, I said to my nan once, I got something from Poundland, and she genuinely, bless her soul, asked me how much it was. I was like, Poundland. It was a pound. Phil Jones is putting up some boxing gloves. Mike says punching missiles. Maybe is that what he did? Maybe have punching missiles. Tech Hex says it's a punch bag, just like the original figure. Okay, pretty good. Jay on the Grind also says that's a hit from him. So yeah, again, two great picks from villains from youth to youth.
The other reason to pick this figure is that they can do a repaint of there was a Brazilian exclusive version of this called Kangor.
Okay.
And it came with a pet kangaroo.
I'm sold. I was sold at kangaroo. Yeah, give us a deluxe set with Kangor in it. I told you I want all the animals. I want a shelf full of the Joe animals at this point. That's pretty funny. I'm gonna Google that as soon as we finish. I can Google it now. But yeah, so and also people were saying in the chat that your pick, Mark, it was he had fabric wings as well in the original figure did.
Oh, okay. So
that would have been pretty cool to see. But yeah, John says cool character, but I would want some more classic characters first, says John. Yeah, as you said, I liked the backstory with this guy because even though we never got Rocky, we all still know who Rocky is, so we don't need to see a figure. We know it's Sylvester Stallone. He's a boxer. Okay, my villain. Okay, so again, villain was also, I say the Joes were hard to pick. Villains were just as hard because there's so many wacky ones that you sort of want to just see in figure form, whether you know much about the character or not. If you just do some digging on some Joes that were released in the past, there's so many crazy designs. But I landed on this one, and I don't know if it was because I've recently seen the Doctor Strange trailer or what, but this guy definitely gives me Doctor Strange vibes. So I have gone for Crystal Ball. So this guy, he obviously works for the Cobras, and he tries to hypnotize his enemies with his hypno disc thing. So he literally would spin that, and then he'd hypnotize it, and I could turn Mark and Tom, make them think they were chickens if I had one of these, but I don't. So they're lucky. They're lucky on this occasion. But yeah, he's got like that. Again, it just reminds me of Doctor Strange style hair. I don't know why, but I seem to like villains with a mustache. That's obviously I see a mustache and I think you're a villain because I've picked another character with a mustache. He's got like the furry collar on the neck and again a little wacky design. But after reading his bios and stuff, I quite liked it. I'm gonna quickly see if I can find out what because I think he was like. Let me find his file card. And we can have a look and see. Let me throw it up on the screen. Okay, there's his file card. Born of a Romanian father who supposedly had second sight and an American mother, Crystal Ball actually was the seventh son of the seventh son, and such a man, the gypsies of old believed were possessed with supernatural powers. See, that's crazy as it is. He's the seventh son of a seventh son. And there's a gypsy. Crystal Ball can sometimes read minds, making him a unique addition to the Cobra forces. But that's the thing, he can sometimes read minds. So it's like, he doesn't know when it works and when it doesn't. It's like, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So he was especially useful for interrogating, of course, captured Joes, and doesn't use torture to interrogate the prisoners. When Crystal Ball is having one of his good days, he simply doesn't need to because he can read your mind. And of course, obviously, his weapon is his hypno disc weapon thing. Yeah, it's hypno shield. That's it. I was calling it hypno disc, but it's a hypno shield. That was literally the only accessory that came with the original figure. There it is on card from way back when. There he is. But yeah, again, just a wacky, stupid villain that I quite like the look of. Again, I think I read his bio and I was like, seventh son of the seventh son, I'm sold. So Crystal Ball, sort of Doctor Strange Cobra, if you will. Tom, what do you think?
I'd never heard of this guy, but I did a bit of read up on him. And apparently, the rumor is that he was invented by Stephen King and his son.
Really? Oh, okay.
And they wrote the file card, so that's just a rumor. I don't know if that's ever been confirmed.
I like him even more now, if that's the case.
But there's something, that's the cool end of the spectrum. Reading on Joepedia, the other end of the spectrum was, their description of him was, Crystal Ball is almost universally considered the most disliked figure. Fans hate this guy.
Well, I don't. I like stupid, wacky villains. And I like him even more now if the Stephen King rumours are to be believed. But yeah, Mark, what do you think, Crystal Ball?
Yeah, I quite like him as well, Dan. I was aware of him. I'd heard of him, but I didn't know much. You reading out the bio there gave me much more. But I like Big Boa. Big Boa is one of my ones that I wanted, from childhood.
Oh, sorry,
and I really like
to
look at
skip
any
you with Big Boa?
twirling, world conquering villains from Cobra. All right in my book. So yeah, Crystal Ball. I'll take him. Yeah, he'd be great.
Sorry if I jumped over you. I think I got
problem.
excited with Big
No,
Boa.
it's fine. Yeah,
but
I'm a big.
looking at the chat, Compulsive Collector is also saying the same thing as you just said, Tom. Fun fact, Stephen King and his son created Crystal Ball and wrote his file card. So maybe there is a bit of truth to it. Maybe there is. And again, I like the mystery surrounding it, to be honest. Did he appear in the toon, says Damien? I don't know. I'm not going to lie to you.
I don't think he did.
No, I don't think he did either.
Not in the Sunbow cartoon, anyway.
I told you Brandon would turn up. Brandon's after this guy. Sorry, Brandon. You would have loved my pick for Joes, though, Brandon. I'll show you on the recap. But yeah, there you go. So there you go. There's all our Cobras. So we've got
Dan, I've got an idea for a G.I Joe movie. It's an exclusive here. We can use Crystal Ball and Big Boa in it. Big Boa. This could be like a Rocky, Creed. Yep. Those are great franchises. We follow Big Boa trying to take his rise to the top of the boxing ring, and he uses Crystal Ball to throw to mesmerize the sort of opponents and what have you, and win his fights. There's a franchise. You don't forget Snake Eyes and all that. This movie writes itself.
Yes. A small contained story.
Yes.
With Crystal Ball hiding in the crowd, spinning his hypno shield, and the boxers are confused. I like it. I'm in. Green light from my studio. But yeah, so there you go. So we've got Big Boa, Raptor, and also Crystal Ball. 3 great villains. Give us a free pack. I'd take it. So obviously Joes and Cobras are an easy category to sort of talk about. But another big thing about the G.I. Joes is that they're army builders, essentially. Like there's the Joes versus Cobra. Like, yes, there's individual characters, but if you've seen the cartoon or the comics or any type of media, there's tons of infantrymen, tons of army builders on both sides that need to fight. You need a bit of fodder, so we needed some for our shelf as well. And then we have got lots of troopers already in the classified series, but there are still lots more to come from. So I hope you like repaints, because I guarantee you we're going to see a lot more in classified, that's for sure. But let's go. Let me see if I can pick the right one this time and go up to Tom. And so this is our picks for a trooper. So this could be a Joe or it could be a Cobra. It was completely up to the person. So Tom's first pick for a trooper was... Oh, wait, that's the same thing. That was... Let's try it again. There we go.
So the green shirts. I'm pretty certain they never had a vintage figure. So they had figures later on, like in the early 2000s, but there wasn't a vintage figure. But I just feel like you look at the Joe shelf and it's quite... If you've got a lot of Cobra army builders, it's really unbalanced. You haven't got as many Joes to Cobras going on at the moment, so we need some Joe troops to kind of fill out the ranks. And I'm thinking like a pack with a few different heads, maybe masks and stuff that can cover the face, that then we can like kind of create different looks with.
Oh, 100% sold on this idea, and you're completely right. Like we've got plenty of army builders for Cobra. And, like, yes, we've got characters with Joes, but we need some just regular army men for the Joes as well. So, yeah, a pack with interchangeable heads and, like you said, helmets or masks or goggles, whatever it may be, so you could buy multiple of these and literally army build to your heart's content for the good guys, because we have any good guy army builders and classified? We don't, do we? No, Joe?
No.
Yeah, exactly. So I do think that would be good. So I completely agree. Yeah, I'm all for it. Some sort of, whether it's green shirts or someone else, just some sort of Joe army builder. What are you thinking, Mark?
100% the same, Dan and Tom. Yeah, 100%. I think it's long overdue. We definitely need green shirts for classified. I know there's another brand, of course, which is giving us some soon. Of course, that's Valaverse Action Force. We're getting that kind of thing. But I think classified. We definitely need some green shirts. Yeah, we've got so many Cobra army builders. How about some Joes?
Yeah, Action Force have done that really well, to be fair, where
they have
got both army builders for the good guys and for the bad guys, with the swarms or what's the new one coming out? The green one in series 2A.
Yeah, the Delta.
Delta.
Yeah. So that's the first one that's a bit green, ain't it? 'Cause the first wave was the black, the sort of blue, and then also the sort of black and grey camo, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
But Mark's bought the entire stock of the Delta Trooper up.
Yeah, come see me. Yeah.
How many are you going for initially, Mark?
So I have, I think, 14.
Oh, okay.
14.
Wow.
Yeah.
All from Toys R Us.
From Toys R Us, yeah.
Toys R Us
They
just
even
need to
sent me a handwritten thank you. Yeah.
Gotta say, they need to divert their shipping just to you. There's no point them being the middleman. They need to phone up the distributor and go, look, just send it to Mark's house, all right? We don't need it.
This big helicopter will turn up outside my house and just airdrop.
Yeah, I told you, the future's here. You're going to have a drone soon enough just dropping stuff in your garden.
True.
But Greg in the chat says, Dan, your army builders are Action Force. That's very true. So again, I do like the idea that you can mix your classified series with Action Force, and they scale really well together. So yeah, of course you could use some Action Force troopers in a G.I. Joe display. But still, classified do need to show some love to the good guys as well. As I said, that everyone needs some infantrymen. So yeah, this is a great idea. They've just done a Viper free pack. Let's get a Joe's green shirts free pack. That would be great.
That would, yeah.
But
that would be perfect.
Okay, so let's go to Mark's pick. Make sure I get the right one. Now, Mark, there was a lot of Cobra villains to pick from, or armor builders to pick from. So I'm very curious to hear why this one for you. So take it away.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I had seen this chap. So these are the Televipers. So what they are in a sort of, in essence, a bit like how you've got Breaker for G.I. Joe. He's a communications expert. These are the kind of communications experts of Cobra. They have featured in the cartoon. I think prominently, they're sort of often seen alongside the Vipers in the cartoon. Sometimes the Bats. But yeah, they're kind of communication experts. They do all sorts of things like jamming communications and sort of, that kind of thing. But from the read up a little bit, it says that they're kind of seen as a bit of a joke by the other sort of forces of Cobra, such as Cobra infantry, things like, because a lot of their communication things appear on their helmets, so they're not exactly very discreet or that kind of thing. So they often get a lot of stick for that. But yeah, the Televipers are sort of like the kind of like how you've got Breaker with the Joes being the communications expert. These are kind of your communications experts for Cobra.
I would have just went with I like purple. I like purple. I like purple.
Yeah.
No, you're not wrong though. Like there's loads of army builders to choose from Joe's, and they're all wacky colours. The craziest one we've got so far in classified, I'm sure you would agree, would probably be the Alley Viper, right, with a bright orange and I knew I'd like that figure, but getting it in hand, like Tom even told me, like it's a great figure, and it really, really is. So like, give me more crazy colours for the shelf. Like as I said, I do think Cobra's the right place for it, especially with the villain. So a little bit of purple in there, and they're gonna have their big backpacks with the antennas for the communication. And it's not like an army builder that you need 27 of. Do you know what I mean? You could have like 2 of these on a shelf. They're the communications guys. A little bit of purple in the shelf, and pretty good. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, like you say, just a couple. Although Mark's still going to buy 20 of them, so it makes no difference. Analog Toys says that figure ruined Christmas 1987.
What? Oh, I need to hear more
Oh.
now. He says no. That figure ruined Christmas 1987. Oh, what did you actually want on Christmas 1987? That's what I'm more curious now. Why? Poor Teddy Viper. I need to know what Tony was after now in 1987. But did you ever have this figure? Did you find it on you and your sister find it on any of your adventures when you were younger?
No. Yeah, no, Dan, never had it myself. I don't know about you, Tom, or you, Dan. I don't know if you had it when you were young or anything.
No,
I
don't have any memories, unfortunately, of like buying Joes in the wilds. Like I remember having Joes, but I must have been brought them and stuff. And like when I was a kid, I didn't know who was who either. Do you know? Like I just thought, here's this colour or this colour. I didn't know their names. Like I don't remember opening cards or anything like that. I probably did, obviously, but. Do you know, when you're a kid, you don't retain that knowledge, do you? It's not until you're older and you see it on screen and you're like, oh my God, that's what I had as a kid. So, but there you go. Teddy Vipers, communications experts for your Vipers. Okay, so.
What really struck me when I was doing the images for this one was how bloody big the head was. The head in proportion to the body is like ginormous.
Because their helmet has like that LED sort of screen. And it's,
yeah. But it's like if your head was this big.
It's just a big helmet. Just a big helmet. They're just all very strong necks. That's why they're hired in that sector. Okay, so next up, my pick for Trooper. So I went in the same direction as Mark. Even though I completely agree with Tom, we need some more good guy Troopers for the shelf. There's just so many Vipers or Cobras to pick from. So I have picked, obviously, I just give it away with a Viper, but I have picked the range Vipers. More so, not because I had them as a kid or anything like that, just now going back and looking at these designs, this is like I know with the bats are like robots and whatever, but this looks like a robot skull helmet with the big eyes. I like that he's got the ammo stacks across the chest. And these guys are like your Tele Vipers, they're communication experts. These range Vipers, these are experts at surviving in the horriblest environments. Do you know, like they can live off like eels and snakes. You know, they don't need to eat. Like they're sent to the horriblest places to survive and fight, and they're just not very. They're range Vipers, so they're all equipped for it. And the green with the red eyes really stands out. And again, go and read the bio on these guys, because it literally says they eat eels or something like that. But they basically are the team that's sent to survive in the treacherous environments to fight the Joes, and they can survive long periods of time on their own. So again, it's like a sub-team of your Vipers, if you will. You can just have like 3 or 4 of these on a shelf, and they're sent to do the horrible jobs that no one else wants to do. But I just love the skull, and it sort of looks like a brain in the helmet. Like, I don't think it technically is, but like, I don't know, it's just like a skull with like a brain. Like, do you know, like Lord Zed? Like Lord Zed has his brain sticking out his helmet. These range Vipers,
similar, isn't it?
Yeah, these range Vipers give me that sort of vibe. So I don't know, I just like the design, and I think Classified would do it really well, bringing it into action figures this day and age. So Tom, what do you think of my range Viper pick?
Yeah, I love these guys. Because like you were saying, and they're sent out. It was saying they're sent out, and they have to like survive on their own. They're given like hardly anything. Yeah. They have to do their missions by just finding food for themselves and raiding enemy ammo dumps to get their weapons.
Yeah, so
they just feel like the outcasts of Cobra.
Exactly.
Just get out there and do your job without any help.
But on the file card, a better picture of the face, which, as I said, it gives me 100%. You can't, like, everyone would agree that's Lord Zed vibes all day long, but with more of a skull sort of helmet. But yeah, like Tom was saying, the file card literally reads, range Vipers are usually committed to long-term operations deep within unfriendly territory, completely cut off from communications or supplies. They have unusual high tolerance for discomfort and can survive on a diet of snakes, grubs, roots, berries and nuts, or whatever slow rodents they can catch. So yeah, just again, one of those file cards that just makes me laugh. But again, crazy 80 villain, and yeah, the Outcast. What do you think, Mark?
Yeah, really cool. They look like zombies or something, don't they?
Yeah,
Almost like zombie troopers almost. They look really, really cool, yeah. They have that look. Almost the kind of thing you could see Indiana Jones fighting. And, of course, we are going to get an Indiana Jones 6-inch Hasbro line, but maybe something almost in Indiana Jones film. But, yeah, very, very cool. I was sort of aware of them, but I didn't know too much about them. But seeing them now, I'd take them in classified, definitely, Dan, yeah.
Just looking at the chat, and just to follow up on Tony's story in Analog Toys, he says on Christmas 1987 he wanted a Storm Shadow, and he got 2 Teddy Vipers instead. I understand now. I understand his hatred. Yeah, Storm Shadow's like top guy, top villain, top ninja villain, and then you get 2 of the communication officers with giant helmets. Sad times. I understand. But a Compulsive Collector was a hit for Teddy Viper. He said with more modern gear would look great. Looking at the chat as well, a few hits for the Range Viper from Tech Heck. He says long range specialist, had this guy as a kid. But Teddy's crying at me now. Sorry, Ted, mate. You're not a fan of the Range Viper. But there you go. So there's our picks. So I've actually got a breakdown of all our picks. I'll write into the chat. So once again, Tom's were Shipwreck, Big Boa, and then the green shirts. Mark's were Airtight, Raptor, and the Teddy Viper. And mine were Law and Order, Crystal Ball, and the Range Vipers. And again, once again, just want to say bravo to Tom, because Tom put these images together and they just look so good. It makes me itchy for these figures in classified. So hopefully these images find their way across the web, and Lenny sees them and goes, do you know what? We need to make some of these happen and bring them into reality. So yeah, bravo, Tom. These look great. Yeah,
well done, Tom.
So out of our 3 picks, lads, 1 pick each. Like I always say this about Marvel figures, but we're in the boardroom, we're on the table. They turn and point at you and say you get to pick the next classified figure, but it has to be one out of these 3 suggestions for you. Who are you going for? Tom, I'll start with you. Out of your 3 picks, who are you going for? Just one.
I'd probably go for. God, that's tough. I'll probably go for the Troopers, I think.
Green shirts. Yeah, it's a good pack. Because then you basically, it's a good pick because you've picked one figure to be made, but you're going to be buying a lot of them. You're going to be adding a lot to your shelf. So it's very clever. I like that idea. Will Mark steal that same idea? Who are you going to go for out of your picks, Mark? Just one to be made. Just your top
I'm
pick.
going to go for Raptor. Raptor, yeah. I really like the sort of wacky Cobra villain. Raptor for me. It was either Raptor or Airtight, and I think I'm going with Raptor.
I think Raptor will be a more toyetic figure for the shelf, whether it's soft good wings or plastic sculpted wings. I do think he'd look pretty cool on the shelf for sure. Phil Jones in the chat is saying, vote Shipwrecked. Abnugler is saying no Serpentor. We talked about Serpentor right at the start, my friend. Trust me, we all want a Serpentor, and we're hoping that the Joes team get there sooner rather than later. My pick, and again, I said it at the start, but I'm not changing my mind. I want a German Shepherd as good as this Timber. So yeah, if you can make a Law and Order as good as this Snake Eyes and Timber, I'm all in. And again, Law and Order will add a bit of flair to add a bit of more animal life and flair to your Joes team. So that's my pick. But I love everyone's pick. I love Mark's pick. I love Tom's pick. But I'm curious what you guys think, because you guys throughout this conversation have been adding yours to the chat. So the same categories apply, okay? So we're going to throw it over to the chat. Same categories apply to you guys. I want you to pick one Cobra, one Joe, and one Trooper, all right? And just write it to me. Write it in the chat the same way that I've just showed you our picks, and I will read a couple out. And while I do that, I'm going to read out some picks that Damien, he was well prepared for today because he sent in his already. So let me go and find Damien's picks. And he's doing exactly the same. And then I'll get into some honourable mentions. Because Serpentor was definitely one of them for sure. Alright, let's get these pictures up that Damien sent over. Alright, let's get them on the screen. I hope you're writing in the chat. Okay. So Damien's picks were, and he sent me these on Instagram, by the way, if anyone's curious. Let me get these up. Okay, so thank you, Damien. So Damien's picks were Lightfoot for Joes, Lightfoot for Joes, which I'm assuming.
I think it's the middle one, Dan.
This one. Okay, so.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Okay, so I have written them down. So Lightfoot for Joes, a Voltar for Cobra, and Eels for the Trooper. So I know Eels are these guys because obviously they're in the water and they have the big flip-flop flippers and stuff. I do like a scuba guy. I am a fan of scuba figures. So there you go. There's Damien's pick for Trooper, Eels. And then we've got Lightfoot. I wonder what he's a specialist in if he's called Lightfoot. I'll have to read his file card. Tell us about him, Damien, in the chat. And then his pick for Cobra. And there you go. There's another animal. So that's probably my winner. This is Voltar. I love that his animal can sort of sit on his backpack. Just like they do that with Spirit, isn't it? Spirit,
yeah.
Yeah, Spirit's animal can sit on his little backpack. So there you go. There's Damien's pick. Lightfoot, Voltar, and the Eels. Do you two like any of these picks? Tom, do you like any of these?
I'm liking that. I nearly picked a diver for my army builders. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of watery characters in Joe's, ain't there? Like, I know they have different themes. They've got they've got some troopers that are great in the snow and some troopers that are great in the desert. And there's lots of troopers that are great in the water as well, it seems. And those are divers and scuba divers of some kind.
Deep Six, there's a chap called
there you go.
We need a wetsuit.
Yeah, and then they can repaint it. Out of these picks, what do you like, Mark?
Voltar is the one, so like you mentioned, Dan. He's sort of like an ally or something of Destro's, some kind of like, lackey of Destro's. So Destro has a sort of his own troops called the Iron Grenadiers. I think, as far as Damien might mention this to me before the chat, I think this guy's the general of the Iron Grenadiers as well. So, but this would be my pick. Yeah.
He looks like he'd be mates with Pimp Deathstroke with all that gold on him.
Yeah.
You can join Pimp Deathstroke's rap group. But no, again, toyetic for sure. And the Cobras ain't shy of crazy colours, which always confuse me. I'm like, you're meant to be some elite enemy team, but all your colours are very bright. Okay, let's jump to the chat and see some people's suggestions to see us out today. Okay, so hopefully you guys will put your favourite picks. So I'll start with Greg. So he went for Joe's. He went Scoop. For Cobra, he went the Iron Grenadier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iron Grenadiers, yeah.
Grenadier. And then the Builder is the Wetsuit, which is what you guys have just mentioned. And then Greg says, Dan, you had the Volume 2 Eels. Volume 1 looks better. Okay, so that was Damien sent over those pictures. So Damien must have preferred the Volume 2 Eels rather than Volume 1. But as I said, there are many options. So Rich says, for Joe's, it's Cover Girl and her Wolverine tank. Cobra is Serpentor. And I'll go with Tom's green shirt for Builders. So I knew I had the advanced knowledge of knowing that Rich would pick a few of these, and Cover Girl was that figure that I had on my list, by the way, before she got replaced with Law and Order. But Cover Girl, I just thought add some more female flair to the crew, as we've only got Lady J and Scarlet so far. Yeah. So why not add another female? Cover Girl came out in '83, it says there. And Cover Girl on a Wolverine tank top. Have they got a better picture? There you go. There it is. Armored missile tank. Is that how she came? There she is. That would be pretty good. You can't see it. My bad. I'm pressing the wrong buttons. There she is. That would be pretty good in classified form. Do you not think?
Absolutely. Yeah, HasLab or something, Dan. Maybe.
It doesn't even have to be a HasLab. Just put it on Hasbro Pulse. This can be. They can make, if they're making Hasbro are making like Power Ranger things and stuff. Then Lords, they can make this. Compulsive Collector uses channel membership token. Thank you very much to show me his picks. He says General Hawk for Joe's, the Iron Grenadiers for the Army Builders, and Zartan's daughter. Yeah, Zartan's daughter from Devil's Due Comics. So Zanya? Is that how you say it? Zanya? Zanya. So Zartan's daughter from Devil's Due for Cobra. So I can't picture my mind's eye for her. But yes, I get this is Rich's pick. There's a better picture of Cover Girl. But yeah, she came with the tank, of course. So yeah, that would be great. Again, we want vehicles. We want some classified vehicles. And what a way to get a vehicle and a new figure for the collection. That would be epic. He also mentioned someone we talked about earlier. Now, as I said, this is going to be revealed. We're assuming this week. Isn't it exclusive? Who knows? We'll find out. But Dr. Mindbender made this guy. He made Serpentor, who is the big snake evil guy who basically tried to take over the Cobras, had a civil war with Cobra Commander. And yeah, this guy needs to be made and classified. And I'm sure he will eventually. There you go. There's his snake. We can pretend that's the snake that Cobra Commander got turned into. But there you go. Even soft goods on the figure way back then. But yeah, so Pentor's a great pick as well. And then just for another honourable mention that I got up on screen that we nearly picked, I'm sure we all wanted to, is Chuckles. All talking about the Joes need some colour. You'd like a Chuckles in the shelf, right, Tom?
I'd love a Chuckles.
Yeah, he's got.
He was up there. He was in my top 5 of picks actually. So he would be a great. He's just a bit different to all the others. Guy in a Hawaiian shirt with a gun.
Exactly, yeah. He's like a Miami Vice
he's
style.
He's verging on a member of the A-Team.
Yeah. 80s style, isn't it? So, would you like this, Mark?
Absolutely, Dan. Yeah, I know that Veebs from the Whoosh. This is, I think, his top G.I Joe character pick. And whenever he talks to Brian Flynn from Super 7, he's always dropping little hints about having this one. So I think it'd be great as well. Yeah. Yeah, and like you say, Miami Vice style, 80s style, yeah.
It's inevitable. We're going to get Chuckles in classified line. It will happen. It's just a matter of when. I think we'll get Cover Girl as well. And of course, we'll get Serpentor. I do think it's a matter of time before we get all these. Maybe some of these will be revealed on Tuesday, on Fan First Tuesday. I'm sure we're going to have some more pre-orders, maybe a few sneaker reveals. But yeah, we will find out Tuesday. Just a few more from the chat, and then we'll get out of here. So Abnugler says, for Joe, Wetsuit, for Cobra, Serpentor, and for the troop, the Imperial Guard. John, for Joe, says Rock and Roll. For Cobra, he says Buzzer. And for Trooper, he agrees with Mark, and he's gone for the Tele Viper. Okay, so Lizzie Hartz is talking to Rich about Cover Girl in his story. Yeah, I told you, Rich was giving hints before we went live that he wants a Cover Girl in classified form. Phil Jones also said would love a classified Fridge and a Sergeant Slaughter. I wonder, like, because Bobby Valor's got Sergeant Slaughter in Action Force, can they still do a G.I.
I'm wondering that, Dan, as well. Yeah, same with the Steel Brigade.
Is that version 2?
Yeah.
Version 2?
That's version 2, yeah.
Looks good. Is version 2 better than version 1, in your opinion?
I prefer version 2 to version 1.
So do I, yeah.
He's a bit more classic styled.
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed it, but when I see other people holding it, I'm like, he looks a bit more badass in version 1, doesn't he? Yeah.
Well, I think, Dan, Toys R Us have a restock if you do, if you do sort of fancy it, as far as I'm aware. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tempted. But yeah, Action Force classified. Love them all. And yes, Phoebes on the Fuchs really likes Chuckles as well, says Jay's Toys Collection UK. And bring toys to work. Yet again, even on Joes+Juice.
Bring toys to work.
He comes in. Thank you very much. Let Friday read this one out.
Sorry, gentlemen. Just got off my conference call. Just wanted to show some love to the J&J crew. For me, just give me the Cobra team, Nemesis Enforcer, Pythoner, Globulus, and Royal Guard.
Good picks. Joe's would be sci-fi as well. Thank you very much, Michael, for the super chat. Much appreciated, my friend. Enjoy the replay where we recap, we talk about all our most wanted figures. So bring toys to work. Michael's picks, he says, sorry, gentlemen, just got off a conference call. Just wanted to show some love to the Joes+Juice crew. He says, for me, my picks, just give me the Cobra team, Nemesis Enforcer, Pythra, and Globulus. Is that how you say it? I'm probably butchering these names, by the way. And Royal Guard. Did I say those names completely wrong, used to?
It's Cobra.
I knew what you meant, though, Dan. I knew what you meant. They're like the Cobra top. They're even higher than Cobra Commander. And
they're like an ancient organisation. Somehow they manipulated Dr. Mindbender and Cobra into creating Serpentor.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Does someone want to read them out properly for me if you've got it in front of you?
Is it Globulus? One of them, I think.
Sounds like Mr. Blobby's, mate. But yeah, I need to Google them. I think I must have seen pictures of these guys. Do they look like old-timey Egyptian god type vibe?
One is literally like he could be a member of the Serpent Society. He's literally a long snake's tail.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah. One guy has big bat wings, who's kind of, I think Enforcer has his big bat wings. But yeah, they are kind of like almost Masters of the Universe type villains.
Yeah, it goes super obscure at that point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
I've just.
I feel like they attack the Earth with giant, like mushroom-shaped bombs or something.
I'm just having a quick Google, see what I could find. They look very colourful. Here's a picture of some figures. Oh, okay. I've definitely seen that big long tail guy. It's a bit small. It's a small image, but it's probably a better idea of them. Can I get in hand? There you go. That's a better picture. So there's the big tail. There's the bats. These are very colourful figures. These would be good for classified, 100%. Great picks, Michael. Like the look of them. We need a big tail. That'd be pretty cool. We need a snake King Cobra, don't we? Let's be honest. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Bring Toys to Work says they look awesome. They're my favourite of any Joe characters. Yeah, I completely agree. They would make some great figures for sure. Maybe, again, as I said, maybe we will get some reveals on Tuesday. Again, I'm expecting reveals, pre-orders. We shall find out. But the Fan First Tuesday for Joe's is on April the 26th. So, me, Tom, and Mark will be back again at some point, probably sooner rather than later, to recap some more G.I Joe news. But thank you very much for joining all three of us today, talking about our most wanted classified figures, with a little bit of news sneaked in there as well. But again, it is the whole year of a 40th anniversary for Joe's and for Action Force. So again, we ain't going anywhere. But until then, make sure you follow us all wherever we are. So let's go around the table. Tom, where can people find you online?
At Mini Plastic Multiverse on Instagram and at Mini Plastiverse on Twitter. And can I also just quickly shout out Mike?
Of course you
can. Who he helped me, Jay, and Tanner out getting some Turtles stuff recently. But also, he's chucked me in some of these. He's made a load of broken back parts.
Oh, I've seen him posting these, yes.
And I've got a bag each for you and Mark. So I'm going to...
thank you very much, Mike. Thanks, Tom.
So just some little... Cool. Just some fodder to throw on the shelf, some broken bats.
Yeah, there's all kind of little Cobra posters and other cool stuff. And he sent me a cup. He got some of the clear back covers.
Nice.
He couldn't get them to fit, but he chucked them in, and I managed to get one to hold on my one of my back. They look cool. So big shout out to Mike X.
Thank you very much, Mike X, the former Mike D. We
Mike.
Appreciate you. Yeah. I know he was helping people with the turtle stuff as well. So, who did he send the big box to in the end? Was it you that got the box?
He sent it to me.
Yeah. They're nice.
All arrived fine.
Good. You're a good guy. Stuff. Good guy, Mike. It's appreciated. But yes, everyone's links, by the way, are in the description and on the screen. But Mark, where can they find you? You still there, Mark? Where can they find you online?
I am, yeah. Sorry, Dan, it slowed down a bit, but yes, I'm here.
It's all right.
And my links, so my links, Dan, are Tac Tac Customs on Instagram, and then Tac Tac Toys with Film on YouTube, where I talk films and action figure lines to go alongside them. I recently talked about Spider-Man Marvel Legends, and that got a massive reaction. I think people thought I had a scoop about maybe the Marvel Legends Spider-Man. I didn't. I was just speculating.
You should tell people you have.
I know. I should, yes. I've got him in secret, revealing it.
I told you, I had Spider Ham yesterday, or the Spider Pig thing showing off yesterday.
Oh, that's true.
Yes. But it was just the same one as before. But no, I appreciate you, gentlemen. And again, thank you to Mike. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat watching live. Thank you to Bring Toys to Work, who just popped in, and the people that have joined us throughout the show. Again, Spontaneous Tuesday. I know people are busy, but it now lives on YouTube. So if you are watching us on the replay, because you're excited about this new Fan First that was just revealed, and you're excited and you just want to listen to some Joe talk, then make sure you let me know you watched in the comments below. But thank you very much to Andy Davis, Phil Jones, John in the chat, Damien, of course, Greg, Papa Smitty, Abnugla, Richem, Jay's Toys Collection UK, Lizzie Harts was listening. I don't even think Lizzie Harts collects Joes, but she wanted to support and listen to us talk, so I appreciate it. I know Tony from Analog Toys was around as well. California Red Devil, Tech Hex, Compulsive Collector. We appreciate you joining us on this Tuesday. Again, we will see you sooner rather than later. So to see us out, as always, I'll play the intro once again, but let's give them a quick wave, gents. And again, everyone's links are in the description of the video. Go and follow us, and we'll see you soon. Over and out.
Over and out.